I'm Ewan Thomas, and you are listening to TLR.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you very much.
Good. So, for anybody who doesn't know who you are, tell us what you do, or what you have done, and how you're known.
Okay. Yeah, I used to be an athlete, so I spent most of my adult life, or grown up, I'm not really grown up, but I'm the British record holder for 400 metres, so I was a European champion, Commonwealth champion, world champion, Olympic silver. Then I had loads of injuries, and sort of slowly over time started doing a bit of TV work here and there, and I suppose now that's what I do. I pop up on TV now and again, do a bit with the one show and some other bits and pieces. When I'm not doing that, I'm mucking about on Twitter, basically.
So, which do you prefer? Did you prefer the athletics career or the TV career?
Really different. To be honest, probably the athletics career in terms of the things I kind of hated about being an athlete at the time. All the nerves, all the travelling, hotel rooms, living out of suitcases. I kind of miss that now. Now it's gone, and you kind of take it for granted. So I think for me, because I had loads of injuries and I didn't have a sort of definite goodbye, if I'd had like a final hurrah and then retired, I'd be quite cool about it. But the fact that I had loads of injuries and I kind of fizzled out, it kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But saying that, I really enjoy my TV work as well. I get to travel, meet some lovely people, and you don't have to get too nervous for it. You do get nervous, like a different nerves, but you're not going to get any lactic acid like in the 400 metres, which is nasty.
What do you think was the best moment of your athletics career?
I think probably 1998 season. That year was a really busy year. I won I first became European champion, then I also got gold in the 4x4. Then from there, I went and won the World Cup and then travelled straight to Kuala Lumpur for the Commonwealth Games. Everyone thought I couldn't win that because I'd already travelled literally the night before, and I ended up winning that as well. So I think the whole 98 season was brilliant. I had some great memories as well from 4x4 relays. We had a really good relay team, some good mates in the team as well. So I've got fond memories of the athletics track.
What do you think is the kind of the hardest thing about being an athlete?
I think the hardest thing probably is dealing with injuries. I mean, the training, obviously, everyone knows that's hard if you want to try and be the best. It's a big world out there. You've got to really push yourself. Obviously, you've got to live a relatively sensible lifestyle when you are training and racing. But it's probably mentally having to deal with the injuries when you sit at home watching your rivals race, when you know you can probably be out there and beat them, but yet you're sat at home injured and you're being told to rest for 2 or 3 weeks. 3 days later, you think you're all right. You go and train on your injury and you make it worse for a whole year. That's the sort of thing. You just got to be really sensible and listen to your body. So I think it's the sort of down bits of being an athlete which is the hardest to deal with. Not the great times when everybody sees you running around on track on television, winning a race or getting a medal. It's actually when you're at home injured and you feel quite lonely. They're the worst times.
And what do you think for someone who's never done the training? How hard is training? So if you're training for an event?
Training's hard. I mean, it's as hard as you want to make it. If you train like an average person, you're going to get an average result. If you want to be the best, and you've got to really dedicate yourself. I know it sounds cheesy, but you do have to push yourself that extra mile. I mean, I used to train to the point I was sick nearly every track session. That was just because I love to just push my body, but I was a little bit addicted. I was a bit into it, if I'm honest with you. I like the pain of training. So, any event, even like now, since I've retired, I do the odd triathlon or London Marathon or anything like that, and I've learned really if you don't train hard enough for those, which I don't, then the actual race itself is really hard. So in athletics, the actual competing is the easy part. That's just mental. It's the training, the hard work, the winter training sessions in the cold snow. They're the ones that count.
Is there any kind of mental training that goes on? Because I can imagine you'd have to be pretty kind of focused and mind over matter.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people see sports psychologists, things like that, but I didn't. I think my mind was one of my strongest points, to be honest with you. I mean, a race can be won and lost in the warm-up track. Unless you're up against Michael Johnson or Usain Bolt today, you're pretty much 8 of you going into a final are normally a very similar standard. It's probably the person who believes in themselves and most sticks to their game, to their race plan, and executes their race the best will win. But there's loads of mind games that go on when you're warming up for a race. I used to stare at my rivals. I'd even listen to music and start swearing at myself, only for them to see, God, he's really pumped. If I could see my rivals were sitting down in the corner being quiet, I'd walk around. I mean, I'm pretty ADD anyway, I've got loads of energy, but I'd walk around right in their face, just so they could see that I was really up for it. So I think a lot of races are won even before you've heard on your marks, because you just got inside their heads.
Psych them out.
Not that I'm a horrible person, I just was quite a horrible competitor. I used to I'm the softest bloke in the world off the track, but when I used to race, I'd go into this second person. I'd just become my alter ego almost. I just had to become that competitor, that horrible person who looked at my rivals and wanted to destroy them, rather than would be the guy, giving them a hug afterwards or talking to them the night before. When it came to racing, I think you really ought to try and get that mental edge over everyone.
And what about the kind of the biggest sporting event? What do you think that's been in kind of like the last sort of 100 years or whatever? What do you think 2012 was like the best British sports event, or do you think we've had something else?
No, 2012 just smashes everything out of the water, I think. Being there myself, working there, work track sides, that Super Saturday, for example, when you had Jess Ennis, Mo Farah, Greg Rutherford all becoming Olympic champions in track and field, which is without doubt, without being disrespect to other sports, it's tough. A lot of people do it, and it's a very hard sport to win an Olympic medal in. So I think that night in that track, the atmosphere was amazing. I was lucky enough to go and watch some swimming. I went to the velodrome, just the whole Olympics. And I think what made it amazing as well wasn't just the athletes. It really was all the games makers and the volunteers, the people that every day when I went to work at 6 in the morning was smiling and being lovely to everyone coming to the Olympic Park. And when I went home at 11 at night, they were the same people, full of energy. So I think the whole Olympics, the way it ran, the whole teamwork, everything about being British this summer or last summer was just amazing. I don't think we'll ever top it.
Did you kind of feel, although it was amazing to be there, was it frustrating not to be competing?
Yeah, I was super jealous. I would have done anything to be 10 years younger and still fit. Yeah, I watched all our athletes, and I think, for those who probably are a little bit, what's going on, a rabbit caught in the headlights, I don't think it's until they get older like me and they look back at their career, they'll realise how lucky they were to represent our country at the greatest sporting event on the planet in London. I mean, it was something very, very special for a lot of them who may, as I said, not take it for granted, but they may not realise the magnitude of how amazing that is to represent your country at a home Olympics. So yeah, I was very, very envious to be standing on the side with a microphone. I'd love to have been running around the track. I'd have done anything for it.
Do you think that it kind of made athletics sort of cool again? Because it seems to have brought athletics and all sorts of different sporting events back to people wanting to get involved and do it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the point. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, but inspire a generation. That's what the Olympics kept saying, legacy this, and we need to get youngsters into it. I didn't start athletics because I just thought that's a good sport. I remember watching Chris Akabusi and Roger Black and everyone in the World Championships 1991 4x4 relay and being proud to be British. And I thought, wow, I want to be an athlete. And hopefully the London effect will have the same on youngsters who watch London. People, be it if they were lucky enough to have tickets or watch it on television, they have to have been inspired by some of the stories. And I think the Olympics is good, and the Paralympics even more so for the lesser known sports. Most people will know who Jess Ennis is or Mo Farah, but they might not know who David Weir was, or other athletes or rowers or different sports you might not necessarily pay much attention to. But once every 4 years, when the Olympics and Paralympics comes around, all of a sudden some obscure sports become really popular. So I think nowadays there's a sport for everyone, whatever shape or size you are. There's something out there for you. So yeah, I think last summer I had to have inspired the nation. I hope so.
And what if you could do kind of any sort of like different kind of sport? What would be your choice?
Well, my first love actually, the reason why I didn't do athletics quite late was I was a BMX racer. So wow. I went to a World Championships in Florida, Orlando, where I crashed when I was like 12. Then I went to a World Championships in Brisbane, Australia. I was fourth in the European Championships when I was 13. So when I did BMX, it wasn't that cool. I was the only person in my school who really did it. But now it's gone full circle, and it's an Olympic sport. So without a doubt, if I could dust off my BMX, which is proper rusty in the shed, I would have taken up BMXing again.
Would you ever have a go?
Yeah, I had a go a while ago. I had a go a couple of years ago just to see if I could still do it. And yeah, I'm nowhere near as good, obviously. I'm an old man, look silly on a bike, but I'm not that old, but you know what I mean. But yeah, no, I could do it. I could still do some of the tricks and that.
And what about now? What's the kind of, because you do triathlons and swimming and things like that, what kind of thing do you do now?
Yeah, to be honest, I just don't want to get that overweight ex-athlete look, so I'll always try and keep myself in good shape. So I just do different challenges, like I do triathlons, as you said. I did an open water swim at the weekend, which was so far a mile in Lake Windermere. It was freezing, but I did it, I completed it, and I felt really good. I do the London Marathon every year. I'm doing the Great North Run, the Great South Run. I'll always sort of try and replace that buzz of competition and I never can replace it. But it's the reason why I ride a motorbike. It's the reason why I go out and do different sporting events. I try and replace that lovely feeling of nerves as an athlete. So I'll always try and push myself and do a little bit of sport.
And what about charities? You do a lot of things for other people. So is there any you want to mention?
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for Macmillan Cancer Support. So there's so many great charities out there, and without talking about it, there's a lot of charity, mate. I try and help out with charity, but Macmillan are my main sort of charity that I give to. If I've done a TV show, for example, I can't say it's not been on TV yet, but for example, if I was to do a TV show and win some money, I would always donate it to Macmillan. So I just think I'm really lucky. I'm in the kind of position where, being an ex-athlete who works in TV, I'm in the kind of position where I can help raise awareness for different charities, and I think that's a real privilege for me to be able to do something like that. That's why whenever I do any sporting event, I'll always be wearing my Macmillan vest.
And what about Twitter? I think a lot of people know you from Twitter, and you have a very famous game called the 1% game. So for anyone who doesn't know what it is, tell us about that.
Yeah, basically the 1% game's changed the way I look at my life, and it makes you look a bit of a weirdo, because I go around now staring at people, but what it is if someone looks like someone, and they can look 100%, or 99.9% like them, but it's called the 1% game, so they only have to be 1% of a similarity to someone. So for example, I tweeted once a picture of a slightly overweight guy on a train in a Man United shirt who looked like Wayne Rooney. So you'd get his picture, you'd silently, I learned it took me a long time to get the knack of taking someone's photo without being caught for it. You've got to be careful, you've got to turn the noise off, you've got to turn the flash off. But if you see someone who looks or resembles someone in the public eye, then you take their picture and you tweet 1%, blah, 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 whoever it might be. But I've also been caught out a few times. I've tweeted pictures of people and they've followed me on Twitter, or their friends have, and it's got back to me. So you've got to be a little bit careful. The correct way of doing it would be to go up to someone on a night out and say, don't mean to be rude. Has anyone ever told you look like Clint Eastwood, for example? And if it goes, yeah, I am actually. I'll say, can I have your photo for Twitter? So the 1% game is a game whereby if you see someone who resembles someone that people will commonly know, then you get their picture and you tweet it with or without their permission. I don't know if now I'm going to get in trouble with the police for stalking people, but that's what I do, yeah. Love the 1%. Amazing. But people do it to me all the time. People will find 1% me's and send it to me, some of which I retweet because they're very funny. Some are highly insulted, and obviously I block those people.
Yeah, the insult 1% game. So who do you follow that you really enjoy? Like, whose tweets are your favourite?
Well, obviously I'm going to say True Lad, aren't I?
Well done.
My True Lad, very good. There's quite a few people. There's Jay Cartwright Not. There's quite a lot of parody spoof accounts, so I think they're really funny.
Yeah, they are.
There's loads of people out there. Paul Scholes, but he's a bit dirty. Not the real Paul Scholes, obviously. There's quite a few people I follow who, some of them are a little bit close to the mark. I am as well. Some of my tweets are a bit risque, but some people are really funny, really bad. But sometimes I'll just tweet and I'll say that I want to follow 10 new people who to recommend, and whoever people recommend, I just try and follow people who I find funny. So the majority of people I follow is someone who may have made me laugh, and I just think, oh, that was quite funny, I'll follow you for a bit. And then sometimes I'll unfollow people after a while, but usually I forget. So I follow quite a few people.
What about, I think, at Zelina, she's quite funny.
Yeah, she's alright. She's a bit dodgy. Some of her photos are a bit rude, though.
Are they?
Do you know the worst thing was? Some of her photos are a little bit rude, really, like unicorn ones. But no, she is funny, I'm joking. Sometimes it's dangerous. Like, the other day I was on a train coming back from London, and Jay Cartwright Not, I think he's at Jay Cartwright Not, he posted a picture. I thought, what's that? And I clicked on it, and it was rude. So, straight away, and then you get embarrassed. Someone over my shoulder was looking. So you've got to be careful on Twitter what you open in public places. But yeah, there's loads of good ones out there. There's loads of people on Twitter I find who are really, really funny. Some are really, I follow people for non-funniness, if that makes sense, for educational reasons. So there's quite a few newsreaders I'll follow, or BBC Sport, or Channel 4, where you're going to get some really good updates. It's quite often, I'll hear of events on Twitter before I hear them on the news. So I think Twitter's really good for that. For people
I do too, definitely.
For people who slag Twitter off and say blah, blah, blah. Someone sent me a tweet yesterday, something like, are you ever going to post something grown up? MBE my arse. And I was like, hashtag MBE. I was like, well, don't follow me then, you moron. The beauty of Twitter, if you don't have to follow someone. I don't get these people who troll and abuse people. There's no need for it.
No, but that's their only way of getting attention because they have nothing entertaining to say. So that's like
It's pretty easy to hit the block button. It's quite easy.
Yeah, but I think
I like to interact with my followers as well. I'd like to think they like me for that. That I'm just a standard bloke who, like, if someone tweets me something funny, I'll let them know. I'll answer them, or I'll tweet them back, or I'll try and interact with people. I think the whole beauty of Twitter, I think, is like just the way you can interact with people. Like, actually, someone tweeted the other day, and I retweeted. It was quite funny because Gabby Logan, who I work with, who's very straight-laced and a lovely lady, she tweeted just very innocently saying, all these plums are lovely, I have 5 or something. And she was talking about fruit, and I think even in brackets she put fruit bowl. And then I went back and I said something like, you can't beat a good plum. And then I put up a picture of a monkey with a very large pair of plums hanging down. And like, she came back because I knew you'd come up with something filthy. And then someone tweeted something quite interesting and said, I love Twitter. Where else can Gabby Logan innocently tweet about some fruit she's eating and get a reply from you and Thomas showing an orangutan's bollocks? Well, you know, and it's true.
Yeah.
Twitter is really good for people just to interact and, like, you know, speak to people, really.
And I think on the whole, I personally, I don't like Facebook. I think that people on Twitter are always in a much better mood. There's always a kind of, obviously you get your trolls and things like that, but I always find that I go onto Twitter and it's full of positivity and funniness and jokes, and you go onto Facebook and it's kind of the whole, like, oh my god, like, you know, my boyfriend dumped me, my world is ending, today is terrible. And it just seems to be on Twitter, it's a much more light-hearted, faster moving sort of thing, which is what makes people better.
I've never been on Facebook. I've never had it, so I wouldn't know. So there's your answer to me. Twitter's good. I love Twitter.
Yeah, Team Twitter.
But I do tweet a lot of nonsense as well. You know, like sometimes I'll tweet before I think. I'll just tweet nothing for the sake of it. Like, oh, I've just had a sandwich. Oh, you know, I don't know why I do that. But anyway, I've tried to stop tweeting my food pictures because I was a little bit addicted to doing that. I like my food because I stay in hotels so much. I'm away a lot. I just quite like sometimes to share my good and bad room service experience with people.
Well, that's still good. That's like, you are sort of rate rooms or whatever it's called. So that's good. It's informative.
Yeah, yeah. I'm informing people don't have the club sandwich ever at the Marriott. It's rubbish, for example. There are other rubbish sandwiches available. I'm not joking, Marriott's very nice.
Okay. Right. If you had to have a slogan on a t-shirt and you had to wear it, like you were going to go around where people were going to see you, what would it say and why?
Just have hashtag Granny. Can I have that?
You can have that.
Granny was a picture I once tweeted early days of Twitter.
I remember
and it
that.
caused me a lot of trouble. Yeah, it was I don't know why I did it really. Someone emailed me a picture of a granny in a compromising position, and I thought that's brilliant. And I tweeted it, and I think I lost like 300 followers in about 5 minutes.
You see,
a lot of people loved it. A lot of people called for the granny. The people who haven't seen it, they'll see hashtag Granny and say, "What is this granny about?" In fact, I did a Great South Run last year, and 2 people were dressed up as like Big Bird and Ernie, and had a massive sign that said "Go Granny." And I went and saw them. I said, "Was that for me?" They went, "Yeah, of course it is." And I thought, and that is amazing. People every day, someone will shout "Granny" at me down the street, which is a bit awkward.
You see, and yet
maybe my slogan would be "Everyone loves a granny." Everyone loves their granny. Maybe I put. Yeah, that'd be my slogan.
Well, we put that picture on too, and it gained us about 500 followers. So it just shows you.
Bad picture. Anyway.
She's a good woman. You know, she's got bills to pay.
Yeah, true.
Don't judge Granny.
No, I'm sure she's someone's mother though, isn't it? That's what. Well, anyway, I've got a mental image in my head now of the granny. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
It's nice.
I'm going to fire questions at you, and you have to say the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
Also, we have, I think David's actually winning so far. The first thing I want to ask you is to name as many Olympic cities as you can in a minute. So I'll just wait until the next minute rolls around, because I'm
quite boring at that kind of thing, though.
Well,
I might be alright. Go on, you tell me when you're ready. Is that the first question, yeah?
that will be the first question, yeah. I'm just waiting for
Come on, hit me with it.
Okay.
Do you want the dates as well? I'm a geek. Athens, 1896, for example. No, I only know that one. I did a degree in sports science. Not that it's just do the Olympics, but what's the record? I reckon I can do at least 15.
Okay, well, it's 19 so far.
Okay, tell me when to start.
Okay. Ready? Steady.
Yeah.
Go.
Athens, London twice, Stockholm, Berlin, LA. What else we got? Helsinki, Rome, Mexico City. I've done Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles might have had it twice. Did I have two for that? You have to check that. Obviously Barcelona, Atlanta, Sydney, Athens, Beijing. Oh God, what else? Paris.
Yeah.
How many is that? That's quite a lot.
That's 16. He got 4 to go to beat him.
Oh my God, some sport geek. Right, I think LA. Can you count LA as twice?
Yeah.
Berlin.
Yep, you said Berlin.
Munich, the one with the disaster, Munich.
That's right. 17.
Okay. I think I might be wrong. I've got a feeling Tokyo have had a World Championships. I think they've done an Olympics as well.
No, they did. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
I've done Helsinki, haven't I?
Yep.
Oh, I'm panicking now. I can't remember what I've said. Barcelona definitely, Atlanta definitely. You've got LA, Montreal and Canada.
19. You've only got to get 1 to beat him now.
But I don't know which ones I said. I said Seoul, Athens,
9.
Sydney, obviously.
8.
Atlanta.
7.
Mexico, Tokyo.
6.
Melbourne, Australia,
Yes.
Melbourne, that one.
Yes. There you go. You're now our winner.
I didn't win it. Did I win it?
Yep, you've won it. You've got 20.
I'm the official geek. Right, there must be bigger geeks than me. There'd be more than 20 Olympics.
Well, I've got Andy Turner coming on tomorrow. I'll ask Cassie this afternoon.
Oh, he won't beat it. He won't beat it.
We'll try them. Okay, your next.
Get about 5.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Yeah, he can. He's all right. He love it.
How many gold medals did UK get in the 2012 Olympics?
Oh, come on. How do I not know this? I don't know. 32.
Nope, 29. How many silvers?
Oh, it's not a bad guess. Come on. Oh, only 3 out. It's not like I was working there or anything, is it? Right, okay, next one.
How many silvers?
42.
17.
Oh, that's rubbish. Okay.
How many bronze?
19.
Yes. Well done. Okay, so how many did they get overall?
Oh, come on, hang on, can I get a calculator out?
No.
Hang on a minute, okay, so hang on, do it mentally then, okay, so hang on, 19.
19, 17 and 29, and I'll give you 30 seconds. Go. 30, 29, 28,
Whoa.
26, 25, 24, 23,
55.
65,
55.
65,
What did I say?
55.
Yes, I said 65.
Right, okay.
It must have been a bad line, I said 65. Did you not hear that? You've got to give me that. I did honestly. 19, 17 and 29 is 65.
Okay. Name 5 gold medalists from 2012.
Chris Hoy,
Yeah.
Jessica Ennis,
Yeah.
Mo Farah,
Yeah.
Greg Rutherford, Ben Ainsley.
Good work. Okay. What were the top 10 most watched events from home? So televised. Like, what were the top 10? We had the top 10 highest viewing figures for the Olympics.
Well, okay, would you classify Super Saturday as one, or can I say three different events on that? So you can say the men's long jump final.
Yeah, they were all separate.
Okay, so men's long jump final.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Ennis's last, the heptathlon, probably
Yep.
the 800 metres at the end. Mo Farah 5k, Mo Farah 10k.
Yeah.
Chris Hoy, any of the events here, that's okay, I'll have one event. Tom Daly diving, that would have been up there, wouldn't it? Tom
Yeah.
Daly diving, the men's 100 metre final,
Yeah.
the men's 200 metre final, the men's 4x100 metre final. Yeah? That was the same, yeah, trust me, last track event.
Okay, yep.
Well, how many is that?
I think you're about
Oh,
there.
God, Bradley Wiggins. Oh, come on now, Bradley Wiggins time trial.
Well, do you know what was interesting? What they actually were? The most watched was the opening ceremony. The second most watched was the closing. Third was Usain Bolt. Fourth was Mo Farah. 5 was Jessica Ennis. 6 Tom Daley. 7 Greg Rutherford. 8 Usain Bolt. 9 Mo Farah. And 10 was Sally Pearson.
Wow.
I was quite
There's
surprised.
a lot of Australians living in Britain, isn't there?
Potentially, yeah. I wondered if it was correlating to when they were actually televised. I was thinking, is it more like,
Possibly. But I I did all right there, didn't I?
You did very good. You're very good. But the last person I asked just went, I have no idea. So you took part.
How many more questions have I got? I'm on a roll. I'm feeling good. I've got a bit of a cold sweat on there. How many more questions have I got to go?
You've got a few. Are you ready? What year was
Come
the
on.
Stockholm Olympics?
Stockholm, 72.
1912.
Okay, sorry.
What year was Athens, Greece, the first ever Olympics?
1896.
Very good. Good at this. Okay. Why were Summer Olympic Games not held in 1916, 1940 and 44?
Because of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
You did, yeah.
I'm on.
Can you name 3 Winter Olympic sites?
You've got Sochi next year. Can I have that or not? No?
Yeah, you can have that. That's fine.
Okay, Sochi. You've had Quebec. Montreal must have had it as well. So you have Montreal. I'll have Sochi. Vancouver. I'm making that up, I think.
No, Vancouver. Vancouver,
Yes,
yeah.
that's 3. How many did you want? 4?
You've done it. No, you've done it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Good work. And let me just double check. I've got all of those in there. Okay, and now you've got to name 4 Paralympians.
Oh, come on. It's what I do. Okay. Okay. You put me on the spot now. Okay, so you've got David Weir.
Yep.
Yeah. Johnny Peacock.
Yep.
Hannah Cockcroft.
Yep.
Let's go for Eddie Simmons, just to put a swimmer in there. All right?
Very good.
Yeah, lovely, lovely.
What would you like to
It's
say?
probably one of my proudest things, working on the Paralympics. I love working with them.
I love the Paralympians. I'm going to. We had David on yesterday, and we've got a couple of other people coming on. I'm trying to persuade Johnny Peacock that he wants to do it. So.
He'll do it. He's a nice boy. He's a mini me. Look, I've got a really good picture. I should send you actually. It's not seen the 1% Johnny Peacock.
No.
There's me and him. It's brilliant. But there's one with me in the studio. I'll send it to you. Genius.
I love him because he and if you watch him, he always swears when he crosses the finish line. It's like his default thing.
Good lad.
He is. What would you like to say?
Anyway.
You can adopt
What
him.
would I like to watch?
What would you like to
What
say
would I
to the
say?
lads? If you could say anything to them, what would you say?
To who?
To all the lads who are listening.
To everyone who's listening.
Mm.
Keep it real. Simple, isn't it? Just keep. Oh, my phone's ringing. I'm having fun. Just keep it. Yeah. I don't know really. What you mean, like something like some words of wisdom, or just like a keep it real? Keep it real.
Anything.
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it in your pants. Hashtag true lads.
What's your definition of a true lad?
A true lad is someone, see, lads you can take too far. Yeah, on a night out, a good lad could be a bit too laddish. You go, calm that down a little bit. You've overstepped the lad mark. I think a true lad is someone who will stand out amongst their friends as the joker. That's a true lad. So if you've got a bunch of lads on a night out, you'll know the true lad. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be some male sexist idiot who's going to run around annoying everyone. That's a pest. But a lad will be someone who's the front of all the jokes, who's a kind guy, who will look out for his mates. But also, when he needs to, he can treat a lady like a lady. That's the definition of a true lad.
Oh, I want one.
You want a lad?
I do now. Yeah.
You got to find the right lads. There's too many lads out there.
And
You've got to have a lad who's got the lad switch. You can have like normal, overdrive, or supreme overdrive. You've got 3 switches. You've got to be able to turn it down.
the level of ladness.
Yeah.
And
The lad level.
what about anything that you've got coming up that you want to tell anyone about? Is there anything that we should come and see you do, or anything like that?
Well, the summer's a busy time for me because I host the athletics event, so I'm the trackside infield host for the Diamond League. So I've got Birmingham next weekend, and I've got the World Championship trials. I host that. Then the Olympic Park Run, I'm hosting that, which is going to be cool. And then the week after, you've got the anniversary games, which I also host at the Olympic Stadium. So it's going to be really nice to be back there. So, and I'll pop up here and there on television. So yeah, just and enjoy the 1% game. If you don't follow me, get on it. And if you want to send me some 1% phone, we'd like to receive them. The good ones and the bad ones. Some of the bad ones are the best ones. I've had many 1% that are horrendous, but they're brilliant. Does that make sense?
exactly what you mean. Yeah, they're often more funny because if it's too good, it's like, well, yeah, it looks just like him. It's no good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to pause that now.